Hey, what's up, everybody? Back here with another war video, war number 11 for season 22. I get 6 fights this war and no domino fights, which is awesome. I get to bring in Omega and Sim Supreme for all these fights, plus a pretty cool Platinum Pool mini boss fight. So we start off here. I am in Path 2, Section 1, and these are the fights that have the strike counter. This is Fury, so you start out with the light charges, the medium charges, the heavy charges, and as you deplete those, they start to build up some Furies. Not too terribly tough as long as you manage it, but you throw a special and you take those away. So the first fight here you can see is a Venom, and he is defensive, so you have to worry about the indestructible charges and taking those off, which sometimes is never that fun because obviously Omega, big part of his abilities is stacking those spores and chewing people down, with that extra damage. So if you make them indestructible, obviously that's damage is mitigated. So you just got to pay attention to that and play smart. The good part is you can parry, obviously, in this fight. He's not stun immune. And if you play the S1 right, you don't trigger the indestructible. So pretty easy fight here. Just making the spores work, parry, and just get him down. So not too bad. He had quite a few Furies, but wasn't too worried about it. Second fight is a Nick Fury, which, defensive with stubborn, that whole deal. Nick Fury is never the easiest fight, but it helps that you can parry him and continue to still build the spores. And I'm pretty sure this guy had at least 4 limber, maybe maxed out limber. So a little tougher. You can't just let the spores stack. You got to be quick about it. But as I'm looking at that Fury counter, I'm a little worried because I don't want to stack too many Furies if I have to eat some S1s. And this node has that brute force too. So obviously, when he's throwing an S1 or I'm trying to let the spores do some work, I have to worry about that because I'm just going to take silly, stupid damage if I'm not hitting him. So get him to break his LMD here, and I just need to throw a special, because I'm just giving him all sorts of Furies. And this is really my biggest mistake out of this whole fight is I should have just thrown the S2 here and way earlier and got rid of that. But I kind of wanted to wait till the S3 and get some life back, and I just waited way too long. I should have did it earlier, but I guess gave him too many Furies and too much chip damage here. It's kind of silly. This easily kills him, but bad play on my part just from a standpoint of having to repot up a little bit to make sure I'm healthy going to these other fights. So just cost me some small 6K pots to get Omega back up to where he belongs. You'll see me here, throw them on. But the next fight is this Mole Man at the end of the path. Mole Man, same type of thing, that strike Fury counter. And Mole Man is defensive too. Big thing with this fight, it's just long. Mole Man's kind of annoying. Can't hit into his block, so I can't just stand there and stack spores hitting into his block because it'll go unstoppable. But good part is I don't think this guy really had some maxed out limber, so I could wait a second to throw the heavy and build some spores. So kind of cool. It's always fun when you're able to do that. But yeah, this fight's usually a lot longer when he's on path 5 in section 2, where your damage is reduced. But you can see me just parrying and backing off and letting the spores go to work. But yeah, this fight was actually way faster than I'm ever used to fighting a Mole Man, but I'll take it. So jump into section 2. I'm on path 5, which seems to be my pretty normal path. And I'm going to go with Sim Supreme against Champion. Back in the day, I used to take all the Champion bosses when he first came out because I had Symbiote Supreme. And, I always enjoyed those boss fights because Sim makes them ridiculously easy. So, this fight, I know I'm going to take reduced damage, got to get some intercepts in. And I'm pretty used to that. In the old war map, I used to do the intercept path. So I've gotten pretty comfortable with the fade back and then go back in and intercept. So I could stack it up. But, a little hard part about this, like obviously he's defensive too, so he's going to go indestructible. So just got to pay attention to getting out of the way of those early enough to not trigger it, especially when I go with my S3 and get the bleeds up, because that's where most of the damage is going to come from, minus some of the nullifies here. So I get the intercept in knowing I'm pretty close to in S3. This way I'm going to get full effect of my bleed damage, which is nice. And you guys can tell I'm running full suicides here, which is never the greatest for Sim, even though you're going to throw a lot of S3s, but it's just chip damage. He's not the most healthiest, greatest champ for this. You know, a couple random chips here and there, and you get wearing down pretty quick. But just taking obviously extra damage when I don't need to. So get him to throw his S2 here, and I am going to play totally terrible here in a second. You'll see. I'm trying to be, you know, cheeky and smart and try to get this, you know, intercept in and throw the S3 and just burn him down real fast. So I'll let him throw his S1. He's indestructible. I'll go in with the parry, remove it, try to back off and go back in, and I get caught like an idiot. And then I just go forward. I don't even know why. I wasn't even paying attention or something. I don't know. So at this point, I already have the S3 banked. At least the health will come back, you know, but that was just dumb. Way too many hits taken for a fight. I should have ended with 80% health. So, you know, here I'm just, you know, back and forth, the parries, let the bleeds do the work, and just getting totally annoyed. I already know my head is on fire right now, like how pissed I am about this fight, because, you know, and I can hear Manny right now, do you take this boss fight all the time back in the day and you never even lost that much health? You know, it's ridiculous. So just had to play it super smart, not give up a stupid, silly death. But my next fight is Havoc. You know, he can be tough here because it's a longer fight. You know, the spores aren't going to do as much damage unless you get intercepts in. And then once you lock in the spores, you know, this node has it where, you know, I always forget the name of it, but where when you have damage over time, he gains more power. So just got to play with that. And here I totally missed the timing on the heavy and take way too many hits. And obviously I start losing health from his feedback. Glad he doesn't have anything on me, so it's not a ton of damage, but just bad timing on my part. I think I'm probably still fuming a little bit from that champion fight with Sim Supreme. So, but the real play here is lock in spores, dance around. He's not defensive, so you're not going to trigger any indestructible, and just bait the S2. But you'll see here in a second, he starts to get very turly, and, you know, he doesn't want to throw heavies, he doesn't want to throw specials, and he's starting to build up the plasma really quick here. So throw the S2, I want to get more spores stacked, and I'm just trying to bait him to throw it, and he's just not throwing it, which is ridiculous. And we've seen this a lot lately. So now the plasma just starting to build up, and I'm getting a little bit worried because obviously that detonations get pretty big. So luckily he starts throwing his heavies again. You know, as long as I can get those turn into prowess for him, and, you know, he won't have as much plasma. So luckily enough, I can get him down here. I was hoping that S1 was going to kill him, but not. But just go on the intercept and finish him off. That fight should have been way easier, made it a little more nervous than it should have been. But here's the cool fight. We did have a little bit of an issue last war with Manny taking Platpool because there's really no duel for it. You don't know how he's going to react. And, you know, Manny took it with Doom. He still won, but just took a ton of hits because of Platpool's abilities and, you know, how crazy he is. So, you know, I know it was talked about a lot, and Sim Supreme was kind of the idea behind this, and to go with, you know, him and nullify what we can. And, you know, obviously when Platpool regens, he's going to be unblockable, so you got to worry about that. So I throw my Power Start 1. I want to get to the S3 as fast as possible. I have no suicides on. I have max deep wounds just to make this fight with Supreme go way easier. So obviously he's defensive too, so he's going to trigger that stubborn on my dexes, which is easily manageable because you can at least parry here. So I'm not too worried about the indestructible because I can just back it right back off. And as long as he's liberal with his specials. The good part is he didn't start with one of his cards that is regen. So he's not going to get as much regen. I think it's below 30% health. He gains some regen. So just got to manage that. I also maxed Despair. So when I'm building these bleeds, obviously it's indomitable, so it doesn't, you know, reverse it, but it heal blocks it, which is really what I want. But you'll see me just stacking bleeds here. He plays right into the parry and 5-hit combos all day. I think I get to 18 is my max bleeds here. Yeah, 18 I was pretty steady at. and he is just burning down. And I probably should just threw the S2 and finished him. But again, here's another S3 just to close him out. Never really worried about the regen. Nullified as soon as it came up. Best part is full yellow bar to finish this bad boy off. Probably the fastest fight I've had in a long time and easiest fight. So 54 hits. But that's it. On a pretty good win streak here. Appreciate you guys watching. We ended up winning the war. I think we had a total of 4 as an alliance and only 1 in RBG, and BG3 went deathless this war. So pretty cool. Another great war. But if you guys like these videos, please subscribe and you'll see more from me. Have a great day. Thanks.